In the quiet, snow-covered fields of rural Germany, nestled between the trees and isolation, lies a place that history remembers not for its beauty or charm, but for the silence it left behind. Hinterkaifeck. A small, lonely farmstead that would become the scene of one of the most gruesome, puzzling, and haunting murder cases in German history. This is not just a tale of tragedy, it is a story soaked in fear, shadowed by paranoia, and wrapped in questions that remain unanswered to this day. As you dive deeper into this chilling case, remember, sometimes, the most terrifying monsters are the ones who walk among us. Setting the scene. Hinterkaifeck was located roughly 70 kilometers north of Munich, nestled in the forests near the Bavarian towns of Ingolstadt and Schrobenhausen. The farm was remote, isolated, and nearly invisible to anyone who didn't already know where to find it. It was home to the Gruber family, Andreas Gruber, his wife Cecilia, their widowed daughter Victoria Gabriel, her 2 children, and a young maid named Maria Baumgartner. It was the year 1922, and Germany was still reeling from the aftermath of World War I. The rural countryside was quiet, almost eerily so. And for the residents of Hinterkaifeck, life appeared to move slowly. The signs before the murders. 6 months before the murders, the family maid left the house, claiming the farm was haunted. She spoke of voices, unexplained footsteps, and strange occurrences that made her too frightened to stay. Her replacement, Maria Baumgartner, arrived the day of the murders. Andreas Gruber, the patriarch, had also reported strange happenings. Footprints in the snow that led to the house but none leading away. A set of house keys went missing. Strange sounds in the attic. Tools disappearing. All these signs were dismissed at the time, brushed off as paranoia. But they would later become grim foreshadowing. The discovery of the crime. On March 31, 1922, something unthinkable happened. Over the course of that night, someone murdered every member of the Gruber household. Andreas, Cecilia, Victoria, her children Cecilia and Joseph, and the maid Maria were all killed. The murders were discovered several days later when neighbors became concerned about the family's absence. When locals arrived to investigate, what they found was horrifying. The bodies of Andreas, his wife, Victoria, and her daughter were found stacked on top of each other in the barn. Each one had been slaughtered with a pickaxe-like tool. Inside the house, the maid and the youngest child, Joseph, were also found dead in their beds. The autopsy and scene investigation. A doctor from a nearby town performed the autopsies in the barn itself. The results revealed gruesome head trauma for all victims. Victoria had been strangled and her skull crushed. Little Cecilia appeared to have lived for hours after the attack, as clumps of her own hair were found torn from her scalp. The investigators found that the killer had stayed at the farm for several days after the murders. Cattle had been fed. Meals were prepared. The fireplace was recently used. It was as though the murderer had made themselves at home among the dead. Suspects and theories. The police launched a massive investigation, interviewing over 100 people. Yet, despite the scale of the inquiry, no one was ever charged. Many suspects were considered. Karl Gabriel, Victoria's deceased husband, was one. Rumors spread that he had not actually died in the war and had returned to kill the family. Another suspect was Lorenz Schlittenbauer, a neighbor with whom Victoria may have had a child. He was one of the first to discover the bodies and had suspicious behavior during the investigation. Others suggested it was a vagrant, a robber, or someone with a personal vendetta. But no theory ever fully explained the disturbing details of the crime scene, nor the motive behind such brutality. Theories of supernatural or occult involvement. Because of the eerie elements surrounding the case, the old maid's fear, the sounds in the attic, the missing keys, and the killer living among the corpses, some have speculated about supernatural involvement. Others think the crime had cult-like characteristics, or that it involved a secret held by the Gruber family. Some researchers even tie the murders to folklore. In Bavarian superstition, isolated places are often associated with spirits or forest demons. But again, no evidence of the supernatural was ever proven. The long-term impact. Over the years, the Hinterkaifeck murders have continued to fascinate, haunt, and puzzle investigators, historians, and the public. The farm itself was demolished a year after the killings. A memorial now stands in its place. Books have been written, documentaries filmed, and theories debated endlessly. Despite modern forensic tools, the mystery remains cold. The Hinterkaifeck murders are still officially unsolved. The Hinterkaifeck murders are more than a story. They are a chilling reminder that even in the most peaceful corners of the world, darkness can take root. What drove someone to commit such a horrifying act? Was it jealousy, revenge, madness, or something beyond human understanding? Why did the killer remain in the home? And why, despite nearly a century of investigation, have we never found an answer? Let us know your thoughts. Do you believe this was the act of a vengeful human being, or could there be something more sinister behind it all? Could the killer have been someone the family knew and trusted? Share your theories in the comments. We read them all. If you found this story as chilling and thought-provoking as we did, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the Grim Tapes. We bring you the darkest, most mysterious, and bone-chilling stories from around the world. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss a tale that might just keep you up at night. Thank you for watching, and remember, the scariest stories are the ones that are true.